Well, we have all our parts cleaned and ready to be painted. So we have about 65 degrees outside, so it's a good day for painting outdoors. Hang on to your hats. Let's do it. It should be noted that I didn't do any body work on this, and it still has some pits and so forth in it. So it's not going to be a showpiece as far as it's not going to have perfect body work on it. I know EJ, he does the body work on them, and he does the spackling compound on it, and sands them all out really nice so that when they're done, they look like better than new. Well, it'll look good, but it won't look better than new. I should note that I have cleaned these parts, I have cleaned these parts down with acetone before I started spraying. And for the head, I have been using this heat-resistant paint. I didn't put any primer on it, just put this paint straight on. Jeff from This Old Truck Restorations asked me about the nozzle on the paint cans that I was using. I said I was using Ace Premium paint. This is paint and primer, but I primed it anyway before. But it has these nice nozzles on them that gives a nice spray, and you can actually turn the nozzle so that your pattern will spread this way, or if you turn it this way, it'll spread out this way. So it's almost like using a regular spray gun, you know. Gives a nice pattern. And it's better if you clean the nozzle too. That's what I'm using. Orange. We'll call it Jacobsen orange. I should note that the inside of the shroud that I'm pointing to, I think I'm pointing at the shroud, can't tell, yeah. The shroud that I'm pointing to, no, it's over here. The inside of the shroud was not originally painted, so it was rusty and a lot of crud in there, but I'm priming it and putting a light coat of paint on the inside just to protect it. And even the back side of this motor mount was not well painted. And I should also note that on the bottom side of my head, let me zoom you in there, maybe you can see it from here, maybe you can't. Nah, you can't. But the bottom side of that head anyway has masking tape over the area that goes into the actual cylinder. There's nothing more fun than watching paint dry, is there? Now you watch as this thing swings back around here. It never ceases to amaze me when you're painting outside, of course I shouldn't be surprised, but the bugs are always going to find you. Mosquito. Wrong time of the year for mosquitoes, ain't it? Okay, so I've been painting stuff, and I got a couple of pieces hanging up outside yet, but we have 4 pieces in here that are hanging up. I painted them outside, let them hang out there for a while, and now they're hanging in here. And the exhaust parts, the manifold itself is with a flat black high heat resistant paint, and the muffler itself is with a silver. So anyway, I have a problem that when I get going, I get my mind set on painting stuff and whatever it is, doing a chore. I thought, well, I should stick the crankshaft into the block, and then I would need to put this part here on. Okay, so, and I decided I was going to put this part on next, which goes on here, and that's fine and dandy. And I figured I was going to paint all these pieces, but, and I've already put silicone on both sides of the gasket, and I can see it's already moved a little bit, which is not a huge deal. It is silicone after all. But if I put this on, which ostensibly is our intake manifold, then I have no way to get at my connecting rod, because that's where you have to bolt it on from there, because the cylinder head goes on here, this goes on here like that, and then, well, actually you put the piston into the cylinder and then you stick it up in here, and you got to crank it down from this side right here. And of course I'm going and I'm thinking, yeah, I'll get these pieces put together, and not so much the cylinder itself, because I'm thinking of painting it a different color. I'm thinking of painting it black, actually. Kind of make it look like a motorcycle, and all the orange will be picked up in the other parts. But yeah, I don't know. So here I am. I've got all of that done, and I haven't got my bolts cleaned up yet. I still have to paint this piece here, which that's not a problem. It's already clean. I just need to wipe it down with some acetone and let her fly. But I just got ahead of myself, and now I'm starting to run out of time. So yeah, and I had showed you all the carburetor and air filter canister before. This is the piece that Micah Big Daddy 1992 sent me, and that looks pretty good. I've got it so it works. I have also thought about doing this. Now you remember the plastic air cleaner housing that was broken. I cut the bottom off of it like that, and I just happen to have a filter that sits right on there like that, and I have a cover that goes right on there, and I don't know, I think it looks kind of cool, you know. So I'm having a hard time deciding if I'm going to use this one or that one. Of course, there's no reason I can't swap them back and forth. And like I said, I'm not going for originality necessarily. So, yep, that's where we're at. Does that go on there? Nope, that don't go there. Nope, that don't go there. I don't think that one actually has a gasket per se, does it? That's too small. I think I'm just going to use some Forma Gasket Ultra Black gasket maker, because you can't get gaskets for this motor anymore. We will be making a head gasket, however, out of this material here, which is metal impregnated. Can you see the metal in there? Yeah. we'll be making a head gasket out of that. And because this cylinder itself has this raised area here that actually slides down into the block, gasket maker is going to work just dandy there. So yeah, I got ahead of myself. Now I'm flustigated, and I think, I'm not positive, I think that my ignition here may not help me. I've got to get a set of batteries for this ohm meter that I have here. I have it taken out of the case because it takes 3, I think those are C-size batteries, and I don't have you have to have batteries to run it for ohms. And I want to test my coil. I have another small multimeter in the house that seems to have good batteries on it, and I tested the coil with that and it came up 0 right across the board. So there is something is open, but I'm not trusting that multimeter, so I'm going to get batteries for this one and for this one, that one. I'm going to get batteries for that, and I'll test the coil with that, and I'll bring you along with me when we test it, and we'll test both multimeters at the same time. We'll do test with one and then test with the other and see if they agree. I don't know exactly what the resistance should be on the various parts of the coil and the cable, but if I get some kind of a reading instead of just 0, 0, 0, then I'll be happy with that, and we'll assume it works. Because if the coil is junk, this won't work anyway. And this may not even be necessary. If the coil is junk, the points and condensers may work fine. So that's one of our next projects to do, is testing the coil and making sure it's good. I have made an offer on a new old stock coil. They were asking $50 for it, and I offered them $25. And they counter-offered at $38, and I counter-offered their counter-offer at $35. And if they agree to that, then I will buy that coil, and we'll use that one. It's an exact new old stock replacement for the one that goes with this motor, numbers matching. So if we get that on there, then we'll know that all works. And then it'll be a matter of deciding, do I want to use this in there? Do I want to use this electronic ignition module in it? Or do we want to just stick with the points and condenser and save that module for something else later on? We'll see once. So that's where we're at. Painting and pining. Yeah, that's a good name for this one. Painting and pining. Pining because I got ahead of myself. And so yeah, I'm thinking that the base, this is our crankcase here. I'm thinking that this is going to get painted yellow. Going to get painted orange to match the other parts. The cylinder itself is going to get painted black. And as you already saw, and it's upside down on my vise drying now, I painted my head silver. I had sandblasted it, and I wanted to keep it looking like natural aluminum, so I just painted it with high heat aluminum to protect it a little bit, don't you know. So I still have a few more parts to clean up, but not many, and I'm thinking about trying to polish this up. Look at that. You're not going to see the vein, but you will see this part out here. This part here, that is exposed, and that's part of my governor, and it's all brass, so it should be polished, don't you think? I think so. So we'll take care of that too. So I hope you all had a blessed week. And I need to give a shout out and send you guys to visit another YouTuber who has just built another goofy cart. His is different than mine. He has a rear engine, but he used a wheelbarrow, and he's got a hood on his. Your feet could slide down in underneath. It's black with flames, and he gave me a shout out before he started the project when he was just collecting parts, and said that my goofy cart was an inspiration to him. So you check him out. I can't remember his YouTube name. It's numbers and letters. I will post them right here above in the picture here, and I'll also put it down in the description. And I'm hoping it won't be too long now before we'll be getting back onto the goofy cart, don't you know? Thanks for watching, for commenting, and for subscribing. Until next time, this is George, the Shade Tree Fix-It Man. Bye for now.